Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Yesterday, a boy in a wheelchair saw another gentleman desperately struggling on crutches with a broken leg and offered to carry his backpack and his books for him. He helped the man all the way across the campus to his class at the university he was attending, and as he was leaving, he said, "I hope you feel better soon. There's always somebody worse off, but there's always somebody ready to help." Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, good morning. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Zeb Bell at Zeb at the Ranch, and brought to you by our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, and they include Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley, and our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600. Almost gave the wrong address, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Dogs barking, noise, everything in the background. Good morning, Gina. How are you?
I'm doing well, sunshine, and how are you?
Not bad. We got a busy day. Thursdays are always busy. How are we coming through over there this morning?
It sounds okay to me.
Oh, okay, I just thought I'd check. Yeah. And let's see, I wanted to remind you, if you can come to Lunch Bunch next Thursday at Denny's, we're going to have a Halloween costume and mask contest.
Ooh, and yeah. I've got some Halloween costumes.
Well, put it on and be there. All right. Okay. Do we have a pledger?
Me or you?
You.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very well done. And right now, let's have the weather with MichaelRogersWeather.com. And it's brought to everybody by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for their blue door. My goodness, they will meet or beat any price on flooring. Now, remember, they're closed on Mondays and Sundays, but that means you can stop in Tuesday all the way through Saturday and enjoy all their Halloween and Christmas decorations, all their repurposed furniture, and get information about their do-it-yourself workshops, all of this and more at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, 678-6945. Look for the blue door, and right now, here's Michael Rogers Weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers for Zeb the Ranch. Got a mixture of weather for today going into this weekend, but the bottom line is that with the cooler temperatures that we've been receiving for the last 48 hours, are going to start to warm up by the time we get to Sunday. Cloudy for today and tonight, sunny on Friday, and also clear on Friday night. Now, it's going to be a nice day Saturday, and then we're going to have a slight chance of rain for Saturday night going into Sunday, clearing out Sunday, and having a nice Monday. Now, the temperatures are going to warm up by close to 72 on Sunday. So where are you going to be for today? 67 for the high, 71 for the high for tomorrow, and then you just slowly start to work your way back up to the low 70s. Other than that, have yourself a great day. Have yourself a great weekend and enjoy the weather, similar to weather you've got.
Thank you very much, Michael Rogers Weather. And, of course, brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Look for the blue door right there at 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, 678-6945. Right now, let's sell some cattle. Merv May, come on in here.
All right, a good set of steer calves there, here to get all of 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5.
That's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, I think. Merv May over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, and sale time 10 a.m. this morning, boys and girls, 10 a.m. Number to call for more information, 678-9411. They have got another ripping good run today at Burley Livestock. Ron Spillett, that's how you say that name. Hello up there at Rockland, Ron Spillett. And he's bringing in 50 head of calves. Joe Pavko, old friend of ours from over there in Gooding, 50 head of mixed cattle. Denny Whitaker Ranch of Malta bringing in 160 head of ripping good calves. And Larry and Brian Kincaid of Malta, 200 head of calves. Boy, they're bringing them in. And Paul Horn up at Shoshone, 30 head of calves. Del Kunzler of Park Valley, Utah. Hello, Del. 30 head of calves. Max Madrigal of Paul, Idaho, 25 head of 750-pound Holsteins. And Rod Kendall. Well, Rod, you old son of a gun, how are you? Over at Paul, 70 head of 600-pounders coming in there. And Double Diamond Goose Creek Ranch, 25 head of calves, along with Spencer and Golden Gardner of Malta, 25 head of calves. Merv said start time 10 o'clock. Got a ripping good sale today at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. For more information, call them at 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, a good set of steer calves there, here to get all of 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, and I sell them $1.35. Zeb Bell, get bottom again.
Oh, my. Good morning, good morning. We got a lot of things to take care of this morning, and some of which I want to remind you that we're going to have Elaine Stevenson's going to be on the air with us at about 10:30 this morning, talking about the GOP state bus tour that's going to be going through Mini-Cash area today, and we'll talk more about that a little later on. Want to also remind you about our great friend, Senator Dean Cameron. You better believe it, wants to express his appreciation of the citizens of Minidoka and Cassia County. He's very grateful for the support and honored for the opportunity to serve you. Senator Cameron cares deeply about Idaho and the community. He works extremely hard to represent and defend you. He is the Senate Chairman of the Budget Committee and the senior member of the Resources Committee, and he has led Idaho in some tough economic times. And I'll tell you what, Idaho is one of 5 states with a balanced budget. Thank you for what you do, Senator Dean Cameron, and he wants your continued support and encourage you to vote on November the 4th. Don't you forget it. Paid for by Senator Dean Cameron. Thank you very much. All right. Let's go. As you know, tragedy struck up in Ottawa, Canada yesterday. And I'm telling you, folks, we need to be vigilant, we need to be very aware, and we need to be very cognizant of everything that is going on around us. The Canadian terror attack in Ottawa is very, very disturbing. I'm sure that most of you, in my audience especially, are very well aware of what happened. And it seems like the lone wolf attacks of terrorism is going to be heard from much more all the time. I'm very concerned about this. One soldier at the Canadian War Memorial, standing there on duty with an unloaded weapon, was shot about 4 times in the chest and killed. Then the shooter walked down the street approximately about 600 yards, went into Parliament, and started shooting. And it was only through, and I want all the anti-gun people to pay attention to this, it was only because the sergeant at arms in their Canadian Parliament that was a former Royal Canadian Mounted Policeman and had a permit to carry a gun. He shot the terrorist to death. Good. But for all of you out there that say, oh, get rid of all the guns, there would have been a massacre in Parliament because the bad guys always get the guns. The bad people always have the weapons. They will get them, they will use them, and they will be, without us firing back, left to organize a slaughter. I am so glad, I am so thankful that the Sergeant of Arms at the Parliament had a weapon and knew how to use it and took out the terrorist. We're going to talk more about this in just a moment. And your calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459. And believe me, if you have not got your name on the list for your furnace to be serviced, you better do so. We're going to get some cold weather, and it's going to stay here for a while. Yes, it is. And also, they've got all the air filters for your furnaces. So check them out today. Give them a call and be warm, be safe, be secure, and have your furnace serviced by our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Also, a quick reminder about Gannett Landscaping and Sprinkler Service, 336 South, 450 West of Paul. You've been hearing me talk about if you've got lawn sprinklers, you better get them blown out. Better get them blown out before they freeze, and then you're going to have all kinds of headaches and problems. Don't put yourself in that position. Just call Scott Gannett today, 438-2485. That number again, 438-2485. Gannett Landscaping and Sprinkler Service, serving you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Just a quick thought. I thought it was interesting that President Obama was quick to recognize an act of terrorism in Canada. But when the same thing happens here, it's workplace violence. Have a good day.
Well, sir, I appreciate your comments. I hate to have you run off, but I do thank you for that. And here's something else to what that caller just said. Our government and Obama, as the caller just intimated, will not say terrorist, will not say terrorism or Islamic jihad. Do you realize what they changed the verbiage to yesterday? I'm not making this up. It's just so frustrating. Normally you hear on the news about the terror alert level. Okay? Now our government changed the verbiage again. And this time and for the future they will say alert posture. What? Yeah, I'm not making this up. It is unbelievable. It's so vanilla. It is so middle of the road. It is so PC. Alert posture. They won't come out and say terrorism alert. They won't say anything like the caller just reiterated about terrorism or Islamic jihad, whatever. But now they've even changed the words from the terror alert level to alert posture. My goodness. Caller, stay with me. I'll be right there. Don't forget our dear friends over at Valley White Home and Ranch. Next week, they're going to have what they call the Golden Pumpkin Giveaway. And all you can do is just stop over, and you might win a $25 gift card each day. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's as easy as it sounds. Keep your eyes open and your senses sharp for the first Golden Pumpkin. But if somebody finds it before you do, don't worry. There's other pumpkins throughout the store with discounts and prizes. So you better get on over to go our dear friends at Valley White Holden. Can I start that over? Valley White Home and Ranch. There you go with the Golden Pumpkin Giveaway. And that, of course, is at 910 South Oneida in Rupert with everything you need for the cold weather at Valley White Home and Ranch. There you go. Golden Pumpkin Giveaway. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Zeb. I'll tell you what. We better wake up, and we better put bullets in our embassy people's hands, or we're going to get smacked harder than ever.
Al, I think these are previews as to the horrific happenings that could happen anywhere, anytime, to anyone. And the naivete of our government and the almost mollycoddling of the bad guys and changing. You heard that on the news. I know you did. What did you think about changing it from a terror alert level to a alert posture.
Well, that's just like what is. I mean, they don't want to tell us American people, that's including the media and all that stuff, they don't want to tell us what the hell the truth is. They want to keep us in the dark while this so-called president back there is ruining this country along with the rest of these funky monkeys, and I'm getting sick and tired of it.
It's incredible. It is absolutely incredible, and many of the people, now I don't know how much you heard of the Dick Morris interview yesterday on my program, but in the book, you've got to get that book, Power Grab. I mean, Dick Morris lays it out. This man, Obama, is dangerous. This man is not inept, and he is not amateuristic. It's a plan. I don't trust him. I don't like him. I don't like anything to do with his ideology or the people that work for him.
I know it. I don't know what we're going to do. It's got 2 years to go, and I hate to see what's going to happen in 2 years. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing my God-given rights, and I'm going to start packing my pistol on my damn hip, and anybody who wants to do anything about it, step forward and ask for it.
Al, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people, and thank the good Lord that Sergeant-at-Arms at the Canadian Parliament was a trained former Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Think of the carnage that could have happened up there.
I know. I had a buddy come in when I was down there at Bryan Air Force Base in the 50s, and he said that he used to be an embassy guard over there in a foreign country. He said he wasn't allowed to put a bullet in his pistol. I said, what in the hell did you do there with it? He said, just stand there and hope didn't have to hit him with it.
Well, the thing is, the horrific happenings of that young man, I think he was 25 years old, that Canadian soldier, standing out in front of the Canadian War Memorial, holding a rifle that was absolutely worthless. It was nothing more than just a photo op. And to have this terrorist killer walk up and shoot him in the chest and raise his hands and praise Allah and then walk 600 yards down the street into the Parliament and walk in and start shooting, my goodness, what's the matter with this world?
Well, I'll tell you, we got to wake up to the fact that we're going to be into it, and if we don't do something about it now and stop it, if it means impeachment or whatever it takes, let's get it done. Let's don't sit there and mollycoddle all these damn crooks, because I'm getting sick and tired of feeding them. If you see them, you got the shot, take it.
Yeah, I know it. Al, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
I'm looking at a picture right now of pumpkin pancakes sitting right next to hash browns and delicious strips of bacon next to some eggs sunny side up. Oh, my goodness. I am drooling all over the microphone. Pumpkin pancakes at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Oh, it is so good. Now, we're going to be over there next Thursday for our Zeb's Lunch Bunch at 11:30 on Thursday next week. So don't you forget it. It's our Halloween party, and you might win a special prize for the best mask or the best costume. Come on in. It's going to be fun at Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Caller, I'll be right with you. You got to promise me not to go away. I want to remind everybody, too, about Snyder's Surplus. It's not just army and hunting supplies. No. They've got everything over there. They got office chairs, and I know they got one for me because I haven't got over there to pick it up yet. And they've got couches and tea tables. Would you like a spot of tea? And they've got wool blankets, and they've got bunk beds. They've got everything over there. That's right. Brand new store, brand new merchandise, great friendly service at 112 South 200 west of Rupert. Snyder's Surplus. Get on over there and say hello to those good folks today. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. According to Barack Obama, we have to, I should call him Methane Mouth, he's got to be especially watchful. We want to keep an eye on things. I'd like to know what he's going to do with these training camps we got in this country when these trained terrorists start coming out of these places and dispersing all over the country.
Tony, you and I and others, including after I had Martin Moyer, the author of the book Twilight in America, I was very cognizant after having him on the air about some of these terror training camps going on in the state of New York and down in Texas, but now they're also out here in the Northwest. As a matter of fact, they're all over the United States. I, like you, do not have a clue as to why somebody isn't going in, infiltrating these camps, finding out what's going on, and at least trying to put them asunder, but nobody is. It looks like we've got kind of a ticking time bomb right here in our own country.
Well, it's just kind of like the wagon trains that were surrounded years ago. They're all over the exterior of this country, the outer boundaries of this country, just waiting to move in like a pincer movement and do as much damage until they get to the center of the country when there's nothing going to be left.
I agree, and I'm very concerned. Tony, you've listened for years and years and years, and this idea of the government, our administration right now, saying they're going to change the verbiage because they want to be more politically correct and not offend anybody, and they're going from terror alert level to alert posture. Tell me what you think of that.
Well, the bottom line, as far as I'm concerned, is we have a president who is not an American. His roots are in the Middle East, and he's involved with the Muslim Brotherhood, and he's going to do everything he can do to contain the American people to where they're just paralyzed as far as doing anything. This is where it's going.
Yeah, I agree. Tony, always a treat to hear from you and Mary. God bless you, man. Thanks.
Okay.
God bless you. Thank
Bye.
you. It is time for the Capital Press Ag Minute, and then I'm going to ask the lovely Gina right immediately after our Capital Press Ag Minute if she would please give us a good word for Lieutenant Governor Brad Little and HJR2. Gina, back over to you.
The Capital Press Ag Minute is brought to you by OnlyAg.com.
More cows in the parlor and better production per cow pushed September milk production at 15.5 billion pounds, 4.1% higher than September 2013. USDA National Agricultural Statistics Service reported this week. September milk production was up year over year in every major reporting state. Cow numbers at 8.59 million were up 78,000 head over a year earlier and up 4,000 head from the August count in the 23 major states. Cow numbers were up in 14 of the reporting states, down in 8, and steady in 1. Idaho dairymen produced 1.1 billion pounds of milk and increased 30.4%. Washington farmers produced 513.5 million pounds, an increase of 3.2%.
To receive instant, exclusive, unlimited access to the West Agricultural News Source, register your account today at CapitalPress.com.
Hi, I'm Brad Little, and I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. Idahoans are some of the most innovative and hardest-working people in the world. Let's help all Idahoans be job choosers, not job takers, for a better future.
Idaho is one of the best states to do business. With a strong system of education, we can attract more jobs in both traditional industries and new fields, like health, energy, manufacturing, and technology.
I'm Brad Little. Let's work together to build strong families, strong career choices, and a strong Idaho.
Hey, Little for Idaho, Tom Johnston, Treasurer.
Vote yes November 4th for HJR2, a constitutional amendment to keep the power of Idaho governance with the people. Vote yes on HJR2 to limit executive power over you and your business. Vote yes on HJR2 to keep your legislators working for your needs, not special interest groups. Vote yes on HJR2 to preserve the voice of we the people for the state of Idaho. Vote yes on HJR2. Paid for by Representative Fred Wood, House Speaker Scott Bedke, and Senator Dean Cameron. Vote yes on HJR2.
Thank you very much. And right now, I'd also like to remind you, as we'll take some calls in just a minute. Stand by, please. Our friends at Berry Equipment and Rental. Don't forget they've got all the rental equipment for your fall projects. Cleaning up, digging up, whatever you're doing, they've got the equipment for you right there at 3 locations. Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, South Lincoln and Jerome, and, of course, the new location at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They've got the Coyote tractors, all the Bobcat loaders. They've got all the big Doosan loaders. They've got all your equipment for sale and or rent right there at Berry Equipment and Rental. A little bit later on this morning, we're going to have Eli on the air from Berry Equipment and Rental in Twin Falls, Jerome, and Burley. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. You know, all the callers that have called in this morning have been looking for common sense and normal thinking from our president. I don't think there is a chance in the world we will ever see that from him. I think he's got a set up plan in his mind how he's going to protect the Muslims no matter what. They're innocent. They're the bright side of the fence to be on. And he's going to support that 100% any way he can. It's just like going after, killing babies. You'd expect the president not to want to do that.
Yeah.
But this one here believes in even, after birth abortion. He's just not a normal thinking person.
The ideology is repulsive for this man. I've hated this ideology that he has projected to the American people since he was a senator from Illinois. I remember vividly before he became president all the headaches and hassle I had with the state Democratic Party. And those folks absolutely were blind to what this man was. There were a lot of people in this area that condemned me for speaking out against Barack Hussein Obama because I didn't like him. I didn't like his ideology, but these narrow-minded people that are on the left in this area, they said I didn't like him because of his color. His color has nothing to do with it, Jerry. It's his mind and his methods that drive me nuts.
Well, and I think it drives most of the people in the country nuts. Most of us deal with people that think logically. This guy does not, in my estimation of what I've seen from him, think logically in any way. He's always illogical in everything he does. It's like not, being able to call a terrorist a terrorist. We've got to call him something else that's harmless.
Yeah.
We got to make him a harmless person, not somebody that does bad. And it makes no sense to me.
Absolutely.
My brain don't work that way, and I'll just never understand it. But I think we're asking for somebody to think logically that just does not do it.
All right, Jerry, thank you very much for your call, as always. God bless you, man. Thanks.
You bet. Have a wonderful day. May the Lord bless.
He already has. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate that. Calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't forget, re-elect Clark Kaufman as your District 25 representative to the legislature. Kaufman has served on the Revenue and Taxation Committee, Transportation and Defense Committee, and the Business Committee. He is an honest man, hardworking and capable. Remember to vote on Tuesday, November 4th, and exercise your constitutional rights. Vote Kaufman. Paid for by the committee to elect Clark Kaufman for Idaho State Representative, District 25, Seat B. Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I'd like to ditto everything that what your previous caller said. He has an agenda, but it's not an American agenda. It's an Islam agenda, and that's why he never uses the word terrorist or Islam in regard to all of these workplace violence type situations. But I just wanted to comment and put in a recommendation for people to consider Lawrence Denny for Secretary of State. He's a proven conservative leader. He's come under attack by the neocons and the rhinos in the Republican Party, but I can tell you, his leadership has been great, and I'd certainly, if you saw my letter in the paper yesterday, the Times News is unbelievable. I wrote an article that primarily had to do with the communist influence in our society today and how they've implemented most of the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto. But the title at the top of the article said, Denny versus Communism.
Oh, my.
It had nothing to do with the article, other than I made a little comment at the end that I was supporting Lawrence Denny for Secretary of State.
Let me ask you this quick, and I'm not going to go into any more of a political announcement about Lawrence Denny. That's not fair to the other candidates, so that we'll just leave it as your support for him right there. They've already started some of the early voting. And I was amazed, I know you won't be because you're accustomed to these stories, but there have been problems already in Chicago, Illinois, and also North Carolina. Isn't it interesting, caller, that when people went in and voted for the Republican candidate, these electronic voting machines switched to put the vote in favor of the Democrat?
Well, yeah, the voting fraud, and this is one of the things that we need to have a Secretary of State that looks into the voting fraud right here in the state of Idaho. We've had plenty of it over the years under the present Secretary of State has not done a good job in that regard, and I think it needs to be cleaned up for sure, and especially there's been a lot of voting irregularities in Blaine County for years, and I can remember clear back when Sims was running against Church. He was way, way ahead. Then all of a sudden, the late votes always come in, and they made a really close race out of basically a runaway. And there was, and then Harry Reid, of course, was behind 4 points the night before the election, and he won by 6%. And they had a big power outage down there in, in one area. You know, and
amazing how that happens.
It's been going on and on and on. But we've got to wake up to the fact that we have a leader that is a Muslim supporter. He's going to do everything he can to protect them. He was raised as a Muslim. He's not even a U.S. citizen, and he shouldn't even be president. And that's the thing that really gripes me about our congressmen and senators that will not take on the fact that the guy's not even qualified to be our president.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for your call this morning, as always. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. You know, the shooter up in the terrorist Muslim killer up in Canada, and this program calls it as it is, had been on a watch list. And this is what is even scarier. He had been on a watch list with about 90 others. And he also had been arrested in the past. They knew this guy. They knew about this guy. And these lone wolf attacks, I was listening this morning and from New York, and I got some emails regarding this too, that right now ISIS is encouraging these terrorists all over the world that cannot get to Syria or wherever to join up with their groups over in the Middle East. They're encouraging these lone wolf attacks anywhere, everywhere in the world. And folks, you might be having a cup of coffee right now. You may be sitting at your desk right now. You may be working in the shop right now. But you'd better realize right now that we're not safe here either. We are not safe anywhere. And like the gentleman said this morning, Felipe Juarez was on the program early this morning at 4:30. He's a noted terror expert. And he said, anyone, anytime, anywhere. Please, we must be aware. That's why I'm going to encourage everybody today, to think about arming themselves and taking, gun classes for concealed weapons permits and packed heat. I absolutely believe in that. Circumstances as they were yesterday, it was a blessing. A blessing. Even to those on the liberal left that are cringing when I say this, it was a blessing that sergeant at arms in the Parliament in Canada was a gun carrier, was a permit holder, was a former Royal Canadian Mounted Policeman. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, Hoss. This is the Chief.
Yeah, Chief.
Hey, how you been?
Good, thanks. Go. What do you got for me?
That guard up there at that monument in Canada, his little boy started kindergarten here this week.
Yeah, I know. It was a tragedy. Tragedy with a young boy losing his father, and it was so needless. Standing there in front of the Canadian War Memorial with an empty gun and have somebody so vile and so absolutely worthless as this Muslim terrorist killer, it's disgusting, Chief.
I know. I hope they will snap out of it up there and stop, in a nice way, kind of letting us pack the burden. I mean, come on, give us some help with these people.
I'll tell you something else that has to change, though, Chief. It's the attitude of this country and all countries. We can't be naive anymore. We can't just think that we can follow the yellow brick road to the Wizard of Oz, because there are bad people out there wanting to do bad things to you, me, everybody.
Well, we got to get off of this limited war stuff. We got the boys over there and the women, these SEAL teams and these Rangers, and we got the people to go over there and take care of this ISIS in about probably 10 days. But let them go. Let them do it. Stop with, well, we might kill this person, we might kill that person, or we might destroy a bunch of hotels or something. Well, hell with that. Let's let them have it. Like Phil Robinson says, send some leaflets in there, say, get on your knees and pray to God, or kill you.
Yeah, you know something? A lot of what you said this morning, and you and I have had conversations where we don't agree respectfully to each other, but this morning, I'm telling you, I agree with you in its entirety. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Got all these capitalists in Washington, too. I mean, we can get rid of these people real easy. You guys have been talking about it for 10 years. Hey, let's go vote them out.
Yeah. But the thing I like about what you said is it's the attitude that we can go in there and we need to fight to win. There is no reason to go with one arm tied behind your back. Go in with both guns blazing. John Wayne, I don't care who's offended by that. We've got to win this fight or the world is in jeopardy.
Yeah, I just got one last little point. I mean, we drag it out and then 3,000 of our guys get killed in Iraq. We could have done that, in a month with the tanks and stuff instead of people on the ground. But, I'm like you. I got some grandbabies. And I know I can understand how they're in your heart and how much you love them, almost like the way we love Jesus. I got 2 little girls.
Yeah.
And they make my heart ache. But I'll tell you what, if you did something to them, if you were ISIS or you were the devil or whatever, I'd chase you to hell to get revenge for those girls.
I don't blame you at all. Chief, always good to hear from you. I got to get a commercial break in here, buddy. Thank you so much. Thank you. Gina, if you would please, going to have the good words for State Treasurer Ron Crane and Senator Jim Risch.
On Election Day, Idaho voters should choose a state treasurer with a 16-year record of success in helping improve the lives of Idahoans. Treasurer Ron Crane has nurtured and grown the tax-deductible Ideal College Savings Program, which thousands of Idaho families now use to continue their children's education. And nearly 25,000 Idaho women have gained saving and investing skills through Ron Crane's popular Smart Women, Smart Money training program. Vote Ron Crane for treasurer, experienced investing, protecting Idaho's taxpayers.
Pete Crane for Idaho State Treasurer. Mitt Romney on Jim Risch.
Jim Risch is a person who you can count on to help build jobs, to say no to the growth of government, say no to the growth of taxes, to say yes to family values, and to stand up for the people of our nation and the state of Idaho. This is a man of integrity, honesty, and character.
Jim Risch is the person we can trust to fight for us in Washington. Jim Risch for the U.S. Senate.
Oh, my goodness.
And I approve this message.
Paid Risch for U.S. Senate.
Thank you very much, and it's time for a weather forecast. And the weather is brought to everybody by Mad River Laser, and that's at 502 East Street in Rupert. Beautiful store for all the promotion of your business. They've got everything, all your sweatshirts, T-shirts, caps, and they've got the Carhartt jackets. Oh, my goodness. This is a store you need to stop in and see, and that's Mad River Laser, bringing you this hour, Michael Rogers with the weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers for Zip the Ranch. Got a mixture of weather for today going into this weekend, but the bottom line is that with the cooler temperatures that we've been receiving for the last 48 hours, and then start to warm up by the time we get to Sunday. Cloudy for today and tonight, sunny on Friday, and also clear on Friday night. Now, it's going to be a nice day Saturday, and then we're going to have a slight chance of rain for Saturday night going into Sunday, clearing out Sunday, and having a nice Monday. Now, the temperatures are going to warm up by close to 72 on Sunday. So where are you going to be for today? 67 for the high, 71 for the high for tomorrow, and then you just slowly start to work your way back up to the low 70s. Other than that, have yourself a great day, have yourself a great weekend, and enjoy the weather similar to whether you go.
Thank you very much, Michael Rogers Weather. Brought to you by Mad River Laser at 502 East Street in Rupert. Nicole and the rest of the crew, outstanding people, helping you promote your business. Thank you very much. Oh, excuse me, I about choked to death. Helping you promote your business. There, we got it out. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. give me a call on the landline. I just want to touch on this just for a moment because it needs to be said, and I'm probably going to talk to Gina about this a little bit later. I saw a video yesterday, and I guarantee you, as a father and a grandfather, I was never so sickened as I was after I saw this video. It was a video of little girls, the youngest being probably about 6 years of age, the oldest probably being maybe about 9, okay? And this video was for the promotion of a T-shirt company, and it was about creating and promoting feminism. And the words that were used by these young 6 to 8-year-old girls was absolutely unbelievable in this video. They used every single filthy word you can think of. And I'm not exaggerating. I sat there with my wife and we watched that. It was on the news yesterday at noon, right after I got off my program. And they were, like I said, promoting a T-shirt company through feminism. And I said to her, these parents of these girls should be arrested by 9 o'clock this morning for child abuse, child endangerment, and absolutely just being sleazy parents. How many, and I don't know if anybody out there in the audience has had a chance, or it's not a chance, it's so sleazy, but to see that video that I'm talking about, and the words were so bad, and the attitude was so bad, I can't, and I won't on my program, lower my standards to even intimate what they said. But if this is the state of where we're going in advertising, if this is the status of where we're trying to promote certain things like feminism in this country, we are doomed. When we have to resort to using 6 to 8-year-old children, little girls, to use that kind of absolutely filthy language. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I know there's probably those in the audience that are saying, oh, you're just a prude. Well, there's a time and a place. And if you would advocate some 6-year-old girl being in that kind of a video, you are one sick person. Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street on the Square in Rupert. Oh my goodness, cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon rolls the size of a Spalding football. I mean, man, they're great. Along with their bakery making wedding cakes and cookie bars and homemade bread and all, like I said, delicious cinnamon rolls. You're going to love it at Sophie's Chatterbox. And they're open for breakfast, lunch, and supper. Open Monday through Friday, 6 to 6, Saturdays and Sundays, 6 to 2. Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street on the Square in Rupert. Really nice people. You know, I got, Gina, I'm going to, during the 9 o'clock news, try to call you back and reestablish another line. I'm hearing a whole bunch of little cloudy atmospheres in the background, a little shaking and baking, and I hope we're not getting back our phone problem that we had. We got cut off once this week. I don't want to have that happen again. So during the 9 o'clock news, my dear, I'll call you back. Thank you.
Okie dokie.
By the way, did you see that video?
No.
Oh, well, you ought to try. You're so good at the computers and everything, you could probably find it. And I think your jaw will drop right down and you will say, oh, my goodness, unbelievably low class.
Really, I'll have to definitely check that out.
Yeah, check it out. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle on the landline. I'd love to hear from you. Going back to this Lone Wolf Muslim Terrorist Act up in Canada, you probably also heard, and the timing was so critical. Another stupid, I don't even know what you can call this guy. There was another guy, some crackpot, that jumped over the White House fence yesterday evening, and they sicked the dogs on him, which I think is great. German Shepherds were on the move, biting and tearing, which he should have been ripped to shreds as far as I'm concerned. This is complete lunacy. At the same time that our country is in a heightened alert over what took place in Canada. This stupid, insane person, if he has any common sense that God gave a billy goat this morning, should be on his knees thanking the Lord above that he wasn't shot 57 times. To climb over the fence and jump onto the White House lawn after everything had taken place yesterday in Canada is unbelievably dumb. Good morning, you're on the air.
Well, he wasn't very smart to do that in the first place.
Absolutely not.
Hey, I have 2 little granddaughters, and I have seen that deal on the news twice, that little advertisement, and those parents need to be taken to the public mall and whipped.
I am so glad. I am so glad to hear you call, Chris, and reiterate what I said. And I don't want you to be too explicit, but when you heard that video and the verbiage that they used in that video the first time, I would imagine, knowing you and knowing the kind of classy person that you are, your jaw must have dropped.
It just makes me sick that we're allowing this kind of advertisement on any public media, and that anybody would put their daughters in that position. It's just awful.
I can't imagine. I mean, to put this video together, and they were all dressed up in different costumes, etc., the parents had to know. The parents had to probably be there while the filming of this video took place and everything, and the choreography of what they were dancing and doing, that all had to be rehearsed. I still maintain that that's child abuse and the parents should be in jail.
I did too. The parents must have been desperate for money.
Well, I mean, and they were promoting, and here's the funny part of it, they were promoting feminism. What is feministic about that?
Well, I don't know, but the generations following you and me must have lost their dictionary.
Well, the words and the verbiage and the phrasing that they used in that video, it was so appalling. Honestly, you could go into any NFL locker room or onto the field after a personal foul, and you will not hear the language as bad as what these little girls were saying.
Well, I just think that more people who have seen that need to call the FCC and just hang them out to dry.
I agree. And but there again, I'm going to go right back to the parents, Chris. There is no excuse for this. And if the liberal left says, oh, they're just exercising their right of free speech, no. This was filth. This was filth in its worst regard, and it's also child abuse.
Oh, yes.
All right, thank you.
I'm so sad to see what's happening to our country.
Oh, me too.
Word.
Thank you, Chris. God bless. It was pathetic, and I'm anxious. I really am, to have Gina try to find that video on her computer and then get back on the air with me. It's a jaw dropper. I can guarantee you that. Don't forget, great big tire sale going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh my! Their tires are on sale for your car, your pickup, your SUV, everything you need tires for, all the different tread designs, all the different tire driving usages. They've got all the tires on sale. And they've got a lot of the fancy chrome wheels on sale. Oh, I picked out a couple that four that I'd love to put on my pick-em-up truck. Ooh, fancy! And they've got the best in brake service, front-end alignment, shocks and struts. Yes, batteries. Better have your battery checked. Cold weather's a-coming. You better believe it. All of this and more at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Oberlin in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Oh my, I got time for one more call. One more call. Once again, I reiterate that I want you to consider getting your concealed weapons permit and a concealed weapon and know how to use it. You know, for me to sit here and say something like that, naturally I would have to concur that I have one. Yes, I do. And I urge everyone to get one and protect yourself, your family, and your environment. The police cannot be there 24/7, 365 at the drop of a hat. That's why I am so supportive of the National Rifle Association and their very powerful ads that they are running all across this nation, advertising and telling you about being 5 million strong and being able to protect themselves. And I certainly agree with those ads. Those are some of the most tasteful, some of the most educating ads on television today on behalf of the NRA. If you haven't seen them, they are excellent. But the bottom line is now, with all the trouble being caused, you need to be responsible for your own safety and take charge. I urge you to get a concealed weapons permit and be aware. Be very, very aware. Next hour, we've got the Chamber of Commerce report, along with Dog Nation and many other things, along with the lovely Rita Ramsey at 9:30 next hour. Stay tuned. Zeb at the Ranch will be back in 6 minutes. Welcome back. Hour number 2, Zeb at the Ranch on a Thursday, October 2-3 on the calendar, and welcome. According to our great friends, we want to say thank you to Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, our major sponsor. And then, of course, don't forget some of our great advertisers, including Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley, and Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Before we go to the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce office for their report with Kay Cameron, we're going to tell you, too, about our friends at Hanson Mortuary. 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, the manager. Very flexible hours, a family place, and they are there when you need them. Absolutely. You don't have to come to them. All you have to do is call, and they'll make arrangements to travel and meet with you in the rural towns and churches. Joel Heward, the manager, 436-5636. Remember the name and number. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, 436-5636. Hanson Mortuary. Also, want to remind you, too, about our friends that sponsor the weather in the first part of the morning, and that's Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Don't forget 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for their blue door, and they've got all the repurposed furniture in there, along with all the Halloween and the Christmas decorations. My goodness, they're prepared, and they've got a lot for you to look at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, 678-6945. Look for their blue door. Right now, we're going to look for the door of the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Walk inside, and lo and behold, there's the lovely Kay Cameron. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fantabulous. What's going on with the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, it's a beautiful fall day. It's so fun to drive in the morning and see all of the fields, all the beets being harvested and all the field work being done. I just love fall. It's just been beautiful this fall. The leaves have been beautiful on the trees. And what a great community we live in.
You grew up on a farm, so what did you do? Drive the beet truck, or what was your job?
Well, I didn't do that growing up, but I did that later in life, and I've definitely had plenty of time and experience in the field, driving both for the beets and the potatoes.
Okay, well now I know, here we are. It's unbelievable. It's almost November. What's cooking down there at the Chamber of Commerce office?
I know, it's right mid to end of October already. I just can't believe it's going by so fast. We've got Halloween coming up next weekend. A lot of community activities going on this weekend. Of course, the straw maze and the haunted mansions, but also out to the Rupert shooting complex this weekend. They're having their first annual zombie shoot. Sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you want more information, you can either call us or call there's a number on our website to call for more information on the zombie shoot. Celtic Halloween is a big production at Minneco High School with Irish dancers, and so they've been doing that for years, and I hear it's spectacular. But also, we're very excited coming up in November, the second week of November, we have our annual Farmer Business Appreciation Banquet,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm ready to share the big news of our winners. We've got Dr. Bill Williams, who is an optometrist over to Rupert. He is with Family Vision and Eye Care as our 2014 Businessman of the Year, and Tim and Jana Darrington from Declo as our 2014 Farmers of the Year. And I'll tell you, I know I say this all the time every year when we talk about this, but the more we learn about these people that have won this year, the more people give so much to our community. They donate so much of their time and so much energy to make this community a great place. And the recipients this year are no exception to that rule. And there's always so many people in our community that give so much of their time to things. And I think that's one thing that really makes our community so great.
All right, give us their names one more time so we can give them a big salute.
Dr. Bill Williams over in Rupert at Family Vision and Eye Care, and Tim and Jana Darrington from Declo.
All right. Congratulations and salute. Congratulations on winning those awards.
Yeah, so anyways, if anybody wants more information about that coming up in the future, just give us a call here at our office, and we can give you all the information about that. But still, I just want to remind all the listeners, be safe out there. Watch out for the tractors in the road, the trucks in the road. I know every day as I'm driving in to take kids to school and to work, it never fails. There's always trucks, there's tractors, there's kids and school buses, and just be careful and be aware of your surroundings and be cautious as you drive.
All right.
Have any accidents.
Absolutely. And if anyone has questions about the Chamber of Commerce or any activities going on in the area, get ready, folks, with your pencil or your tape recorder, because she's going to have a litany of different things to contact the Chamber with. Here we go.
Just need to remember one, whichever works best for you. Come by and see us. We're located at 1177th Street in Hayburn on the beautiful Snake River. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us online at manicagichamber.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or connect with us on LinkedIn.
You come up with new ones every week, and I'm sitting there going, I don't know.
A slew of them that we haven't even tapped into yet.
Oh, my.
Anyways, have a great day.
All right. Thank you very much, Kay Cameron at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. Appreciate it. Thank you. God bless. If you have questions, there is a lady and her staff at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce that are really, really good. Let's take a look right now. Oh, I want to remind you, too, about our dear friend, Representative Fred Wood. Running unopposed for Representative in District 27. Fred, of course, the chair of the Health and Welfare Committee and on the Resources and Environment Committee. Fred listens, and he works for the people of District 27, protecting Idaho's water and creating a positive economic environment for the state of Idaho. Fred would like to thank everybody that's voted for him in the past and encourage people to get out and vote on November 4th. And don't forget, vote yes for the constitutional amendment HJR2, paid for by Fred Wood for House Seat 27. Gina, if you would please play that nice little word for HJR2, I would appreciate it.
Vote yes November 4th for HJR2, a constitutional amendment to keep the power of Idaho governance with the people. Vote yes on HJR2 to limit executive power over you and your business. Vote yes on HJR2 to keep your legislators working for your needs, not special interest groups. Vote yes on HJR2 to preserve the voice of we the people for the state of Idaho. Vote yes on HJR2. Paid for by Representative Fred Wood, House Speaker Scott Bedke, and Senator Dean Cameron. Vote yes on HJR2.
Thank you very much. Oh, there's going to be a Halloween party for Four Paws Bed and Bath for all your dogs and kitty cats. Listen, this is going to be the day after Halloween on November 1st from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And mark it on your calendars and be there at Four Paws Bed and Bath, 370 West 200 South of Paul. Number to call, 438-4444. Refreshments and fun and pictures, and there's going to be the toys and the treats and all the food for your pet at sale prices. Don't miss it at Four Paws Bed and Bath, 370 West 200 South of Paul. Big Halloween party on November 1st, 11 to 3. Gina, I've got a question for you this morning.
What's up?
And you, I'm very impressed. You're like my wife, Deanne, know quite a bit about football and what's going on in the world of athletics. We were talking earlier this morning about Michael Sam.
Yes.
And Michael Sam, the only reason, and I really mean this when I say this, I'm not trying to stir the pot, but the only reason that Michael Sam has been given any press, has been given any newspaper coverage, has been given any TV or radio coverage, is the fact that he is the first openly gay football player to try to make it in the NFL. Would you concur with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And the only reason he's getting all this press and notoriety is because of pushing from the lesbian and gay alliances around the United States. And they're all upset because, quite frankly, Michael Sam is not good enough to make the roster as a full-time player, either for the St. Louis Rams or for the Dallas Cowboys.
Correct.
And now he's going to try to shop himself out to other clubs around the area as maybe a backup player, whatever it might be. But my point I want to have you expand on just for a moment is, Gina, why, if this were any other player, if this were any other person, regardless of their color, regardless of their sexual orientation, this would not fly, and they would be working at a pharmacy or working stocking shelves. If he can't make it in the NFL, why should he be pushed into making it in the NFL just because of his perversion?
You know what? I really don't think, because I'm actually reading a story that was posted up by ESPN, and really it has nothing to do with his sexual orientation either way. Basically, it comes down to the numbers.
That's
and
right.
If you are not providing the numbers and the stats that the team is looking for, whether you're on the practice squad or if you're on the starting line, you have to post those numbers and those stats, and if you don't make it, you're going to be cut. And that's what's happening with Michael Sam. It has nothing to do with which way he swings. You know, it has everything to do with his performance on the field.
Absolutely, but you know what? There is a major push right now by, like I said, the homosexual agenda in this country to say that he's being discriminated against because of his sexual orientation. And I'll be very, very forthright and honest on this. Number one, I wouldn't want to play on a team with that person. I'm just stating my open, honest opinion. I would not want the management to put him in that situation to cause problems with the other teammates, but if he can't play the game up to the par that's necessary and needed for that particular position on a football team, I don't care if he's green or whatever, cut him, get rid of him, and get somebody in there that can do the job.
I completely agree with you on that, and the only reason why this is being pushed to the forefront is because his sexual orientation.
There you go. Exactly.
And so basically the gay and lesbian movement, they want to push this to the forefront because it's their issue, and they think that that's why he's being cut. But if you honestly look at the stats and the numbers, it's not that at all. He's just not performing on the field. And you've got a phone call back.
All right, Gina, thank you very much for your opinion this morning. Caller, I'm going to ask you your indulgence to stay right there with me just a second, 30 seconds, and I'll be right there with you. Don't forget, Representative Clark Kaufman, a Filer area farmer and businessman, is running for re-election for state representative in District 25. Kaufman has leadership experience with multiple statewide organizations and received the Friend of Co-op Award from the Idaho Co-op Council in 2014. He thanks you for the privilege of serving as your representative the past 2 years and asks for your vote in the November general election on the 4th. He encourages you to register and vote. Paid for by the committee to elect Clark Kaufman for Idaho State Representative, District 25, Seat B. Debbie Kaufman, Treasurer. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. After all that, they hung up?
All that, they hung up.
You know, have patience with us, please.
It's the point that they were trying to make anyway, and so we stole the words right out of their mouth. Oh, they're calling back again.
All right. Boy, they got to give me a minute. Right now, at this time, we are so busy with all the political ads. Have a little patience. That's all I ask. Thank you. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
I apologize for hanging up, but I'm at work and I had to go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
I don't want to offend anybody here, but, when George Washington was elected president, one of the things that he strongly urged was that this country have no political parties. And, not all Democrats are bad, not all Republicans are good.
I agree with that.
And what I think we need to start doing is if you look back at our Congress and Senate that we have today, we have people in there that have totally just ripped off their constituents blatantly and openly, and these people keep putting them in. And I think that you know, it's good that we have the parties, but I think what we need to do is start looking at the people that are running, and not that they're just a Republican or a Democrat.
I agree with you. And may I interrupt you for a second? I really appreciate your call and your discernment on this issue, and let me say why. Every time I get on the air and I have a kind of a conflagration with the Democrats, you have heard me many, many times say I'd never, ever agree with the Democratic platform. There are good Democrats that want to run for their party's different nominations, but I absolutely cannot abide by the Democratic platform, and you've heard me ask them to come on this program and explain how they can support it, but they won't do it.
And I agree with that. You know, I'm not saying that you vote for a platform. Vote for a person's belief. And you know, and I'm not trying to put anybody down here or anything, but I mean, let's look right here in our own state. Look at Mike Simpson. Mike Simpson was going to totally go against the whole state of Idaho on, I think it was when he was going to vote for the bailout for the government or something, and everybody in the state had just went ballistic on it, and then all of a sudden, you know, he turns right around 10 hours later, you know, and totally changes his stance and this, you know. Another example, okay, I know Ron Crane personally. I've known the man for many years. Very, very outstanding man. But this guy goes back to New York, rents limousines. This guy punches $8,000 of taxpayer money to put gas in his car and stuff. And he would have never said anything about this, but when they all get caught, and this is Democrats and Republicans both, they all have their hands in the cookie jar, and when they get caught, all of a sudden it's, I shouldn't have done this, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again. And then every one of us sit there and we don't look at what goes on. We just say, oh my gosh, let's put them back in. Let's start looking at people's integrity. Let's start looking at people that, an example I have, and you know, I'm probably going to get some Republican people upset at me here, but look at Ted Cruz, probably one of the most well-rounded Republicans that we have. And the guy has great ideas, but three-fourths of the Republican Party try to hang the guy.
Well, I agree with you, and I'm trying to...
And we forget about that, you know, and we forget about that, and we turn around and we say, oh my gosh, you know, we forget that they tried to hang somebody that's got our same values and our same purposes on the table, but we even have our own senators and congressmen here in the state that are like that. But come election time, we all forget about that.
I agree. I got to interrupt you, my friend, because if you look at your watch, I got another segment starting in just a minute, Dog Nation, and I just want to compliment you for saying look at the individual and look at their value and their worth and their beliefs. I totally agree with you, but I will maintain and say this, that until the Democrats have the nerve and the backbone to come on this program and defend a platform that basically espouses the liberal left in supporting of gay marriage and supporting of abortions and that type of thing, I am going to remain critical.
I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree. I don't agree with their policies, but all I'm saying is whether they're a Democrat or whether they're a Republican, independent or what, let's look at the integrity and the values of the person.
I agree.
Let's forget what party they're in. Let's look at the integrity and value that these people are going to bring to the state of Idaho.
Well said, my friend. I got to run. Thank you so much. God bless you. Appreciate it. Thank you. The man is right, and I agree with him. Hey, by the way, did you remember Let's Ride, Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley? Oh, my goodness, they got the 2015 snowmobiles in stock. Check them all out. And don't forget like to get your watercrafts winterized, call the service department. They'll take time to make sure they're winterized. You don't want to get them all froze up. And then don't forget, too, they've got all the accessories for you. So if you're going snow machining, they've got all the accessories. Going up in the hills on your ATV, they got all the accessories. Need a new ATV? Guess what? They've got them all right there for you at Let's Ride. Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley, where the fun is sold. Get over there and treat yourself to a lot of fun at Let's Ride, Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley. Well, where in the world, where'd these dogs come from anyway? They're all over the place. I don't know, but we got look at that dachshund over there. It's pulling a chain along with it. My goodness sakes. St. Bernard with a casket under its neck. Isn't that what you call those things? A wooden casket or a cask with all that a cask, right?
A cask, yes.
Okay. With that liquid refreshment that adults love under its neck. Yeah. And the St. Bernards are salivating all over everything. Look at Ken Moore's pants. They're just all soaked. Get that St. Bernard back in the kennel. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning, Deb. How are you today?
Oh, I'm not bad. What's going on with Dog Nation?
Well, today I want to feature Titus. He is a yellow lab, approximately 4 years old.
Titus?
Yep, that was his name on it when he was brought in. He is good with other dogs, kids. He is not good with cats and likes to kill chickens.
Well, that kind of eliminated a lot of good homes for old Titus. Doggone chickens. Unless you got a contract with KFC.
There you go. He is a runner if given the chance. On it. He has a lot of energy, needs a little TLC and some gentle, consistent training.
Yeah.
And he'd be a great dog.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, Titus, did you kill that chicken? And the dog goes up and goes, whoop, whoop, you got a chicken stuck in his mouth.
Yeah, keep picking the feathers out of his teeth.
Oh, I tell you, you really know how to sell a dog.
Hey, I just say it as it is.
Poor old Titus. Probably the most lovable old dog you've ever had over there, but he's a chicken killer, and boy, he's a tough one.
Oh, yeah, but he does love to give hugs. I mean, he's a real sweetheart of a dog, and that with people and kids. So.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, though, seriously. I mean, you said it's a golden lab, right?
A yellow lab, yeah.
Okay, so what if he doesn't like cats? That's a plus. So what if he helps Colonel Sanders? That might be a plus.
Definitely.
Okay.
So, I mean, anybody interested in him or any of the other dogs we've got and stuff and that, they can reach us at 438-2200 or contact me on my cell phone at 670-7268.
I got a feeling that Titus might be there for a couple more bowls of gravy train.
Well, we've actually had some people come in and look at him, but he was just, they were older people, and he was just too energetic for them.
You know what, though? He sounds like he'd be a great dog that loves to go chase a ball across the yard and come bounding back and give it to you, along with hugs and kisses and everything.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
He does. I mean, he does like to play with the balls. I mean, we had somebody donate a bunch of tennis balls, and I mean, and he's got his own tennis ball. I mean, and he'll bounce that thing around in his kennel at times and just enjoy a good time.
He might even go after the ball and be gone for a while and come back with lunch.
Just might.
What else you got over there, Mort?
Well, just we're slowly making progress on our facility on it. We've got the fences going up. I'm currently working with some individuals about getting us a temporary office trailer until we can get the other building on that to be able to move in for an office and all that stuff. So
okay.
We're moving forward. I mean, it is a slow process due to funds and stuff like that, but I mean, we're doing everything we can to be able to get the facility moved and plus, at the same time, we're saving a lot of lives. We got our statistics back for our fiscal year, and at October 1st through September 30th, and we saved 99.4% of the dogs that we took in.
Oh, I think that is tremendous. Congratulations to you. You know, we get you on the air and we kid with you and everything, but you're doing a fantastic job.
I appreciate it, Zeb.
Well, listen, how do they get a hold of you?
Once again, they can get a hold of us at the facility at 438-2200 or my cell phone at 670-7268.
Okay, now, Titus, I want you to keep Titus in mind because I know there's a home out there for Titus.
There is. I mean, there's a home for every one of them that we've got, and it's just you got to come in and check them out and fall in love with them.
All right, Ken Moore, Minidoka Animal Control. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Thank you, Ken. Titus did. He knows how to unlock the door. Oh, thank you, Officer Ken Moore. Thank you very much. Hey, by the way, did you hear that? Did you hear that? What do you mean? You turn around, you look at your radio. What do you mean does he say, I hear that? Well, if you had trouble hearing that, maybe you'd better get a hold of Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, Christine Pickup at 1218 9th Street, Unit 2, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. Here's the number to call for a hearing screening test, 312-0957. I'll say it again, 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology, boy, get your hearing checked if you're having trouble, because hearing loss is not a part of aging. No! So check it out today. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, they're waiting to help you. Did you hear that? Okay. Hey, by the way, too, don't forget, let's see, I got to get my friends over here. I got to do this. I got to mark that. And I got to tell you about our dear friends, Dean Cameron and Todd Siemens. They are Cameron and Siemens Insurance, serving you. Yep. Now, I'm telling you, folks, with the best of life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, they care. All you have to do is give them a call at 436-4424, and believe me, set up an appointment, and they will help you in recommendations to make sure that you're protected. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert, 436-4424. It is Thursday, and that means that we get a chance to talk and visit with the lovely Rita Ramsey. Good morning, Rita. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good.
Rita, I'm going to start right off on a serious note to get things rolling here this morning. Yesterday was another eye-opener for not only Canada, but the rest of the world, with their naive attitude of it can't and possibly won't happen here. Yes, it can, anyone, anytime, anywhere. Terror violence with the Muslim terrorists can go to any part of the globe, anytime, and it happened up at the Canadian Parliament. Your thoughts?
Well, I think that it's not only a matter of if it happens here, it's going to be when, and the reason is because we're so politically correct that we just don't think that we have to scan or watch or discriminate, and I'm sorry to say that, discriminate, but we need to discriminate about who we let come in and who we have amongst us, because they're here to harm us.
I totally agree with you, but I also want to throw another plug in here, and I mean this, a plug for protecting ourselves by obtaining concealed weapons permits, learning how to use weapons, because had it not been for a former Royal Canadian mounted policeman that is the Sergeant at Arms in Parliament, having a gun, carrying a gun, and shooting and killing the terrorist, it could have been a disaster.
Well, it's been proven time after time that those who carry guns are the ones who are in the situation of protecting themselves and many others, just like that deal in Oklahoma a few weeks back. You notice how they haven't really talked about that too much. It was kind of on the news and then right out the back door. We don't want to talk about it because that guy used a gun and killed or shot the guy who was who had killed somebody and kept him from harming anybody else. Well, we don't want to talk about that.
Rita.
And so that yesterday that there was somebody there with a gun is the only way that kept a lot of other people from being killed.
Right. And the story is so much, there's so much to this story. I mean, this poor Canadian soldier that was standing guard, a ceremonial standing guard at the Canadian War Memorial, 25 years old, with a little boy, and this vile, sadistic Muslim terrorist killer goes up to him, shoots him in the chest, and then walks 600 yards down the road till the Parliament walks inside and just creates more mayhem. Right now, ISIS inviting these lone wolf attacks. I mean, nobody knows what's going to happen next.
No, you're absolutely right. And the guy made a point last night on the radio that I was listening to, and he said, you know, the guy who protects the unknown soldier's tomb does not have a magazine in his gun.
That's right. And then I want you to comment on this. Well, the news media yesterday jumped, and they should have rightfully did what they did as far as jumping on the coverage of the Canadian Parliament, etc. But yesterday afternoon in the early evening hours, some complete nincompoop jumps over the White House fence and is attacked by the guard dogs and all the Secret Service people. This guy has no idea how lucky he is that he wasn't shot 75 times last night.
Well, it kind of makes you wonder why they tackled him instead of shooting at him with the events earlier in the day. I mean, it's just kind of it just makes you wonder. You just shake your head and think, wouldn't that be your first reaction? And I guess, thank goodness, they didn't shoot him, but he should have been in for we're going to shoot you because you came across a place where you shouldn't come, and on a day like today, we were all watching for you.
Yeah. Now, I want you to comment on this. I have said for a long time that the verbiage coming out of this administration is nothing more than mamby-pamby and crackers and milk, and they're afraid to call things the way they are. They used to be called every week when they had the terror alert level as to what they've heard on the chatter and what they've heard across the world, etc. Yesterday, of all days, our own administration changed it again to a more politically correct terminology, and now they're calling it alert posture. Please tell me your thoughts about this.
It's just so ridiculous. I just wonder if we're ever going to get back to common sense and just call things what they are so that we understand what it is they're saying. They're just trying to mask it so that we don't know what they're saying. We don't have any idea, and it doesn't make the news because people are going, oh, I don't even know what that means, and they go on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. If they'd call it what it was, people would go, oh, my gosh, and they'd start getting informed about it.
Now, there's another story, and I'm kind of giving you a potpourri here this morning. I could not wait to write this one down to talk to you about it, because as a mother and a grandmother, I just want to hear your verbiage. I'm sure that you...
This is about some little girls dressed up like princesses, isn't it?
You must have read my mind. I saw that yesterday when I got off my program, and I'm going to be very honest with you, Rita. I was so taken aback. My jaw just fell down, and I could not believe it. And Deanne and I were watching the news together, and I looked at her and I said, can you believe what you just saw and heard in the name of promoting a T-shirt company and also feminism? It was so disgusting and so disgraceful. I'll say it again. Their parents should be arrested today, right now, for child abuse.
Boy, I think they should, and I think that whoever was in charge of making that video needs to be hauled off to have his sanity questioned as well. That is so absolutely horrible, and that is child abuse. They should not, those little girls don't know what they're doing. They think this is wonderful. Their moms probably think, oh, this is great, my child's going to be a star. But all they've done is just disintegrate any of the things that have happened that have helped women to rise to prosperity and doing things. And yeah, maybe things aren't totally equal, but you know what? Nothing's totally equal anywhere. But for them to pull a stunt like that is absolutely horrid.
The thing I'm concerned about, and one of the commentators said this yesterday, I don't remember who it was, but 10 years from now when they're 16, 20 years from now when they're 26, that video and that verbiage and what they did is still going to be around. It's going to be lingering out there someplace, and it's going to be a negative, I think, if we have any morals left in this country at all, it's going to be a negative source for them they're never going to get away from.
Oh, that's right. I mean, they just as well have had nude pictures put on the internet because it's going to be there. It's going to be showing them that they were doing that. And one day they'll probably have to answer to their kids why they were using that kind of language. It's just absolutely bad. They should not have done that. That is child abuse to those little girls and taking advantage of them. You know, you didn't ever hear them have little boys on there saying that. Yeah. So it's kind of like, well, you know, were you really in favor of women's things? That's what they thought they were promoting, but that's just bad. It is so horrific.
It was like listening to some very vile, very dirty mouth, potty mouthed street people, and it was as bad as I've ever heard. I made the comment last hour, and I'll stand behind this, that after a personal foul from one team to another in professional football, you will not hear as bad a language as these little girls had.
No, and you know, I just keep shaking my head and thinking, you know what, that just shouldn't have happened. Whoever was in charge of that needs to be hauled off to jail, and the mothers of those girls or the parent, whoever it is, gave permission.
I agree. Another subject I want to hit on this morning, isn't it interesting? Isn't it absolutely coincidence? Why, it just happened that with the early voting, Rita, in Chicago, Illinois, and again many times in North Carolina, why, somebody went in and they punched the button to vote Republican, but the electronic voting machine, it registered Democrat. It's amazing how that happened.
Oh, my goodness. I thought electronics was to make it so there wouldn't be any voter fraud or no mistake.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
That's what happened in the 2012 elections. You know it, and so do I know it, that there were numbers of them that were programmed to do that. Because when you get absolutely no votes for Mitt Romney in a precinct in Pennsylvania, there's something going wrong, and yet they never did check it out or you know, go in and say, well, this is what happened, and we really did find this and that and the other. Let's just brush it under the rug and forget all about it.
You know, Rita, yesterday we had quite a conversation about voter ID, and I absolutely cannot understand how anybody with any sanity whatsoever can argue against having a picture voter ID. I mean, I don't understand. In this day and age, you have to have an ID for almost every other activity you want to go to or be a part of or fly, whatever. What is the big hubbub about having a voter ID when you register to vote?
The big hubbub is that they want anybody to just come in and vote however many times they want if they're voting for the right person. And the other thing is there is absolutely nobody that doesn't have ID. I mean, everybody has it. Even little tiny kids have it. We had to get it before our grandkids could fly on the airplane, so we had to go in and get their little ID with their Social Security number on it and all of their information and everything. I mean, we're talking about for 6- and 7-year-olds. So why would you not do it if you're going to vote? The thing of it is that all these people who they say, the poor and the elderly and everything else, all of them have ID. If they didn't, they wouldn't be able to get their Social Security checks. They wouldn't be able to get any kind of benefits. If they're poor, they wouldn't be able to get assistance from the federal government or the state governments. They all have ID, and that's that.
I do not understand the lame, I mean absolutely lame arguments against having voter ID. Well, it takes too much effort for these poor people or these elderly people to get to town. Sometimes it takes all day for them to get to the location. Oh, you can't force them to. Rita, you tell me one couple that you know that would be under that much strain to obtain an ID?
Well, I do know that it might be difficult for some of the elderly to get to the polls and take them time, but I will guarantee you that they have ID.
That's right.
So nobody can convince me that there aren't people out there. And the other thing is, you know what? If they want to vote, they can get it. And if they can't get into the county courthouse or someplace to get an ID, all of the counties across the nation have said that they have people who will come out and help those folks get their ID, and so that they can vote if they want to. It's just like, well, let's just get a whole bunch of people who will come in and vote who we tell them to vote for. We don't want anybody to be informed. We just want them to vote for who we tell them to vote for. And if they have to get an ID, then that's another issue for them, and so we don't want them to do it. But the only people who wouldn't have ID are the people who shouldn't be voting.
Well, you know, the whole thing boils down to preparation. Preparation. We have known that the election for midterms is going to be November 4th for a long time. Don't give me this argument like, we just can't possibly get in and do this before November 4th. You've had years to prepare for it.
That's absolutely right. And I heard somebody make the comment yesterday, and I thought about it, and I thought, that's absolutely right. If you come to the polls to vote and you don't have your ID, they will let you vote, and then you can certify that with getting the ID later, or having somebody to vouch for you or get it, whatever, if it's that big of a deal. It can be obtained. You can go and get go and vote, and then get an ID and prove that you're who you are. So there's absolutely no excuse for it. The only excuse that those have who are saying, you know, it's a big problem, is the ones who just want to pull anybody in and let them vote numbers of times at numbers of places, or if they're not even citizens and have absolutely no right to vote anyway.
I've got to do a weather forecast. Stand by, and then I want to come back and talk to you about Obama's sinking like a rock in a bucket of water numbers. Stand by. Our weather forecast this hour is brought to you by Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, your family will enjoy the comfort through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. You be sure and give them a call, 678-0459, or stop over to 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, Ramsey Heating and Electric. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers for the Ranch. Got a mixture of weather for today going into this weekend, but the bottom line is that with the cooler temperatures that we've been receiving for the last 48 hours, and then start to warm up by the time we get to Sunday. Cloudy for today and tonight, sunny on Friday, and also clear on Friday night. Now, it's going to be a nice day Saturday, and then you're going to have a slight chance of rain for Saturday night going into Sunday, clearing out Sunday, and having a nice Monday. Now, the temperatures are going to warm up by close to 72 on Sunday. So where are you going to be for today? 67 for the high, 71 for the high for tomorrow, and then you just slowly start to work your way back up to the low 70s. Other than that, have yourself a great day. Have yourself a great weekend, and enjoy the weather, similar to weather you've got.
Thank you, Michael Rogers, brought to you by Lennox Home Comfort Systems at our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, and that's 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Rita, I wasn't kidding. Every time you pick up the newspaper or listen to a newscast, the ones that'll be honest about what's going on with this administration, Obama's numbers are tanking, and nobody has any respect for him anymore, especially on the Republican side of the aisle, and surprisingly, the Democrats are running from this person. However, yesterday, I hope you heard the interview with Dick Morris, and talking about his new book called Power Grab. He is very, very worried that this man, Obama, will resort to anything and do anything in his last 2 years of being in power. Your thoughts?
Oh, absolutely. I did hear that interview. That was an excellent interview yesterday. I feel the same way. In fact, I was just having a conversation with a small businessman this morning, just earlier on, and the question that I asked him is, so what do you think is going to happen on November 5th? We were talking about Obamacare and some of that, because with Obamacare, it was kind of for businesses, all of those rules and stuff were set off till the end of October. Well, we haven't heard what's going to happen or what's supposed to take place in January yet. Don't you find that a little curious that we haven't received all kinds of information saying on January 1st this is going to go into effect, this is a law that was passed, da-da-da-da-da, and you shall do this and this and this? They haven't told us any of that.
There is so much that is going on behind the scenes in this administration, and I have never, I'll say this, and if somebody's offended by it, that's your problem, not mine. This is the most corrupt, the most worrisome, the most bankrupt of integrity administration I have ever seen in my lifetime. Would you disagree with that?
No, I'm right in step with you. I read an interesting article by Wayne Allen Root, and he said, you know, which is more dangerous, Ebola or Obama? And then he goes through and lists a lot of facts. And you know, it's kind of like this. We can have one of the most dangerous feared diseases amongst us, or in this country, or in this world that we're worried about. And yet, we should be more worried about who is at the helm in America, because there's all kinds of stuff that have happened that we have given him a pass on, that he has tried to destroy. One of the things he said was over 92 million working-age Americans are not working. There are 10 million less Americans working now than the day Obama took office. We have the lowest workforce participation. Just that one statistic alone should tell us that we're in trouble, because we are not producing. People are not making money. We are not making enough money to pay taxes for the money that's being spent. The $7 trillion that's been added to our debt so far is going to just carry on for decades. I mean, we should be worried about Obama more than we should Ebola.
Let me ask you this, and I've only got about 2 minutes left, so keep your answer relatively short. Explain to me, how come these illegal aliens that were arrested as criminals and tried and convicted of their crimes of being murderers and rapists and kidnappers, and this administration let 2,200 of these illegal alien criminals out on the streets?
Because Obama is not here to make America better or help Americans believe that they are better and that they can do good. He is here to destroy us and to tear us down, and every single thing that he has done, every decision that he has made, do nothing but tear down this nation.
I'm appalled. Quickly, what's going on with the Tea Party? Real fast.
On November 1st, we've got a meeting. It's a Common Core meeting. That's a Saturday morning. We'd like to have everybody come, and please invite anyone who you know has children in school, as well as all of us need to be informed on it. So we're doing a big push to try to get people to that meeting. It'll be at the King Fine Arts Center Little Theater.
All right, Rita, thank you. Great job, and I'll look forward to talking to you next week. God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Right now, Gina, I know your hand is perched right on the button, and if you would please play a good word for Senator Jim Risch, and I'll be back in just a moment.
Mitt Romney on Jim Risch.
Jim Risch is a person who you can count on to help build jobs, to say no to the growth of government, to say no to the growth of taxes, to say yes to family values, and to stand up for the people of our nation and the state of Idaho. This is a man of integrity, honesty, and character.
Jim Risch is the person we can trust to fight for us in Washington. Jim Risch for the U.S. Senate.
I'm Jim Risch, and I approve this message.
Thank you.
Risch for U.S. Senate.
Thank you very much. And right now, you know what's coming. Gina knows what's coming. I'm hungry. I have been on my cardboard diet for the last month and a half. And then I sit down here on Thursdays and I talk about a segment called If You're Hungry and Starving to Death, I know some great places to go. Oh, this is going to be really hard for me. Listen to these different menus. Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland Avenue in Burley, with the Southern Baked Burrito, either soft shell or grilled shell, either chicken or steak, made just the way that Kip knows how to make them. Delicious. Along with the pumpkin empanadas. Oh, wow. Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Let's move on over to Rupert and Burley for Burgers Etc. Yes, Burgers Etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland in Burley. And coming soon, right after Halloween, soup. They're going to have soup, hot soup. I love soup. And I'll tell you what, they've got all kinds of goodies over there from me, all the cheeseburgers and the shrimp baskets and the corn dogs and everything else. Oh, the food is great. The people are wonderful at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. How about we go over to Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. Food made the way you like it. They've got that beautiful new entryway. Yeah, boy, I'm telling you, it's neat. And then, let me tell you, you go inside and pick up the menu, and you got a great selection. Like the pork chops with salad and choice of potatoes, or try my favorite, the steak sandwich. Friendly servers, dedicated staff at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Heyburn. And then, of course, Duck Uglies. I love that name. 163 West Highway 30 in Burley, right next to Berry Equipment and Rental. Oh, my. Oh, the ribeye steak. Oh, and the baked potato. Oh, it is so good. New York steak and shrimp and salmon and great sandwiches. Oh, my goodness. I'm swallowing hard. I tell you, I can't wait to eat. Duck Uglies is kid and family friendly, and you're going to love it. And they're going to have a Halloween party over there, too, at Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. And last but not least, we stop over to the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Famous Farmer Brown burgers. Oh, yeah. Ranch burgers, 3-piece fish and chips with small fry. And, of course, they've got all the different flavored milkshakes. Oh, my. It is so good. At the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. You stop in and see them today. And remember, those are some great places to go when you're hungry and starving to death. And she is, as always.
You know.
I tell you what, and you're still skinny as a shotgun barrel.
I know. I'm hungry, and so as soon as we're done with this show, I am going to go and grab myself a bite.
If you had a bucket list of food, what would be the top 2 or 3 items on your bucket list to eat?
Wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
Ribeye, prime rib, mashed potatoes, gravy, some garlic.
I said 3 items. I didn't say the whole menu, for heaven's sakes.
Okay, so 3 items.
Yeah.
Prime rib.
I agree.
Hawaiian chicken.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about a dessert? What is your absolutely favorite dessert?
Creme brulee.
Really?
Hands down.
Deanne makes, let me see if I can get her in here quick and tell me. Deanne, stop over here real quick. What is the name of that dessert that you make with chocolate and cream cheese and graham cracker crust? Hello, Goober, where are you? And it is put in the refrigerator, and it is delicious.
That sounds really, really good.
Yeah, it's in layers. You know, like you got your chocolate on top, and then your cream cheese, and then your
graham cracker crust.
Yeah,
with sugar.
Oh.
Okay, so my grandma, even though creme brulee is like my ultimate dessert, there's one that my grandma used to make that I wish I could eat right now, and it is called a huckleberry tort. You've got your, and I think I've explained this to you before.
Yeah.
You've got your graham cracker crust.
Yep.
And then what you do is you take fresh huckleberries and you reduce that down basically into a jelly. You use your fresh huckleberries and then sugar and water. You reduce it down.
Oh, my.
And then so it gets really super thick, and then you lay that down over the graham cracker crust. And then you make some vanilla pudding, and you put that on top. And then you take some Cool Whip with that on top. And then you put that into the refrigerator and let it cool for a couple of hours if nobody sticks their fingers in it first. And you've got your dessert.
Oh, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, tune back in just a few minutes for more of your Huckleberry Network. But right now, the news from ABC. Welcome back. Hour number 3, Zeb at the Ranch, brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers like Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. We'll be talking to them in just a second. And also our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Want to remind everybody, Representative and Speaker of the House Scott Bedke of District 27 urges you to vote in the midterm elections on November 4th. Scott, always concerned for Idaho and its growth and prosperity, and concerned about the future of the United States of America. He urges you to exercise your patriotic duty and vote on November 4th. And vote yes for the constitutional amendment, HJR 2, paid for by Representative Scott Bedke of Oakley, District 27. And also another great place to go eat lunch. Oh my goodness, the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Oh, today the special is beef stroganoff over egg noodles. Ooh, served with garlic toast and super salad. Delicious, along with the rest of the menu at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. Great folks, great food at the Chadwick. Well, let's right now head on down to 459 Overland in Burley, and with us on the phone is...
It's Jason, Zeb.
Aha! I was going to say that, but I was too scared. I wasn't sure. Jason at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. What's happening over there, my friend?
You know what, Zeb? We've got some really good fall savings. One thing, we've got a lot of things marked down, but we also have a 15 months no interest running right now that our lenders are participating with us on. It's a great value, gives you that extra time to have to get to pay everything off with absolutely no interest accrued. So it's a great value to hurry, come on in. That's a limited time only.
Absolutely. You've got so much over there for the beautification and the comfort of one's home. What else?
You know what, Zeb, one thing here at Lee's, there's a lot of chaos going on in the world, as you know, back east and even here in the U.S. with some of our politicians. What we've got is we've got a power recliner at $3.99. This is meant to really spoil you so you can kind of relax, take the evening off. Everybody needs a little bit of that relaxing time, especially in such a troubling time. These power recliners are great. They take the stress out of having to close your recliner. Also, to be able to, grab a quick power nap, these are just outstanding. Like I said, Zeb, only $3.99 power recliners in the Durblend leather. Great value, so hurry on in.
And the other thing I'd like you to comment on is the colder weather is coming along, and if you're tippy-toeing along that floor, it's best to have a real good carpet.
Absolutely. We've got specials on our carpet. We've got specials on our pad. Come in, get some of the nice memory foam with the Spillguard pad, all on special. Top that off with a nice plush carpet. We've got a 48-ounce carpet right now at only $14.95. I've got a 56-ounce at only $8.95 a square yard, Zeb. These are outstanding buys, roll specials. Come in, take advantage of these, and we can get them installed within days. We've got them here in stock. We've got installers ready to go. Give you that change of scenery and definitely warm up that house of yours.
Oh, my goodness sakes. You folks are always there to serve. And, of course, they got Thanksgiving coming up. Real quick about the dinette sets.
We do. We've got, a lot of people are needing a little more seatings this time of year, Zeb, so we've got our dinette sets on sale. 7-piece dinette set, 6-piece if you want to go with a bench, which is real popular right now. We've got even some 9-piece. So come on in, take advantage of these. Starting at we've got a solid wood 7-piece dinette set at only $7.99. Great value. We've got some even less than that, and so come in, take advantage of these. Give you that extra seating that you're needing around the Thanksgiving table.
Absolutely. Mighty fine folks. Jason, thank you so much. At Lee's Furniture, Floors and More at 459 Overland in Burley. Have a fantabulous weekend.
Thanks, Zeb.
Thank you, sir. God bless. Really nice folks at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More. You know, I'm going to ask Gina at this time if we could have the word for HJR2, and we'll be right back.
Vote yes November 4th for HJR2, a constitutional amendment to keep the power of Idaho governance with the people. Vote yes on HJR2 to limit executive power over you and your business. Vote yes on HJR2 to keep your legislators working for your needs, not special interest groups. Vote yes on HJR2 to preserve the voice of we the people for the state of Idaho. Vote yes on HJR2. Paid for by Representative Fred Wood, House Speaker Scott Bedke, and Senator Dean Cameron. Vote yes on HJR2.
Thank you very much, and I want to remind you, too, when you go to the polls on November 4th, don't forget our dear friend Jim Patrick. Senator Jim Patrick from District 25 wants your vote, and he also says thank you. Thank you to everybody that's supported him. He appreciates all the support, and remember, get out and vote on November 4th and let your voice be heard. This man has a deep understanding of issues here in the southern part of the state of Idaho, water issues, etc., and he wants to keep on serving you. Senator Jim Patrick for District 25, paid for by Jim Patrick, Senator, District 25. Right now, it's time for Cache County School Days, and I know we're running just a little bit late, but we just want to be sure and acknowledge our two wonderful sponsors of Cache County School Days, and they are, of course, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got all kinds of selections for the baby gifts, and don't forget, they've got all the games, and they've got everything, toys, books, and puzzles, all the clothing, everything for you and the family right there at A Child's World. 1308 Overland in Burley, and they've got layaways too, so stop in at A Child's World. And don't forget, too, the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Life-saving colonoscopies performed by outstanding surgeons right there at Ambulatory Surgery Center. All you need to do is call. Call and save hundreds and hundreds of dollars by going to the Ambulatory Surgery Center. Call 677-8888. 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you, of course, Cache County School Days. And with us on the phone right now, and she's probably sick and tired of waiting, is the nurse for Cache County, and that's Kyle Hodges. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure to have you back on. You're very articulate and you know your business, but how concerned are you right now, Kyle? And I know you're going to be straight up and honest with us on this, about the different viruses that are going around this country, like the enterovirus that's affecting and inflicting a lot of students with paralytic effects, etc., and then also the possibility of Ebola spreading.
Well, those are definitely out in the public's eye right at the moment, and they're something that at any given time could be a potential that we would have in our part of the state. Presently, both of those things are distant viruses and are not something that we have in our community at this point. So at the moment, my paramount concern is taking care of flu,
right,
which we know definitely will be in our community this year, and we probably are already starting to see that as we're starting to see deaths in our state from the flu. So we know that that's a possibility that is much more pressing in our community right now. But obviously with the advent of Ebola being out there in the news and the enterovirus, I think we all realize that it's important for every single one of us to be mindful of staying current on our vaccines and just being aware of how to keep ourselves healthy and our families as well. So presently in our school district, we've been actively involved in making sure that we're prepared for the flu. We partnered with the health department this year, and so we have actively been going into every single one of our schools, and Lisa Clam has administered flu mist to every single one of the students that had parents that signed an immunization form that they approved and authorized for their child to receive that. And that was a huge progressive move for our school district to do, because that enabled parents to get their children that vaccination in the school setting, and they didn't have to have the inconvenience of going into a doctor's office. So we've done that, and that has been a real positive thing for wellness for our students. Presently, Lisa's going out into every one of the buildings and making sure that our staff and employees have an opportunity to receive their flu vaccination. So that's another thing that we've done. But this is a time of year when everybody needs to be mindful of staying healthy and being aware of the symptoms of flu and keeping themselves healthy and their families as well. So it's important for everybody to realize that flu vaccination is that one big component that we can all avail ourselves of and make sure that we try and keep others that don't get that flu vaccine healthy as well. So
let me ask you this, Kyle, and I'm not trying to be naive, because influenza, basically when you look at that word and you look at what its causes are, how did influenza start and become almost a cyclical back to school, back to flu type problem? What is there about flu that we're susceptible about getting?
Well, flu is still a number one killer, and it accounts for more deaths actually than some of our diseases that we're giving vaccinations for. Last year we had 20 deaths in the state of Idaho, and already this year we've already had 2. So even though flu in every situation does not kill an individual, many people are susceptible to developing pneumonia, particularly the population that's over 60. So if somebody gets the flu, it lowers their immune system and they're more apt to develop secondary infections. So flu is an evolving virus, and every single year we get these flu vaccines. We don't realize we just roll up our sleeves and naively get them, when in fact many, many, many studies and important information is gathered about the flu. And when the flu is made, that flu vaccination is made every single year, components of what are expected or what are the strains that are out there are changed and modified and put into our flu vaccine that we get every single year. So flu is one of those things that has been very, very deadly in the past. I mean, there's been epidemics of flu that can actually kill millions of people, and you know, it's a still evolving virus, and so we rely on the physicians and medical individuals to study and track these viruses. And so because of knowledge, I think it's one of those things that is important that we all stay abreast of, and our medical authorities are the ones that we trust and rely on that are safeguarding our health. So
okay, now let me ask.
That answers your question.
Oh, it did, and I want to ask you this: to help alleviate or at least curtail some of the problem going throughout the schools or the district, what would you tell parents and what would you tell the kids? If you're feeling a little bit sickly, it's best to stay home than rather come to school and infect the whole school.
Well, and we do have parameters, and we have tried to educate families. Right now, attendance is really important, and we do want those kids to stay in school. So we're not trying to have children come to school when they're sick by any means, but children that are sick with a fever over 100, obviously if somebody has vomiting and diarrhea or a legitimate sore throat, fevers and rashes and severe colds, we don't want those kids to be in the school setting. You know, we want them to be home, and they need to stay in their home and see a physician if their symptoms warrant. But good hand washing is so incredibly important, and we do teach hand washing education in our schools, and we have signage all over our buildings to remind kids how important it is to have good hand washing. So the public in general really needs to heighten up during all seasons, because we have germs around us always, but during this particular cold and flu season, it's important that people are mindful of having good nutrition, good exercise, all those things that entail good wellness, getting sunlight for vitamin D. It's so that our bodies stay healthy. And hand washing, incredibly important for people to be mindful of that good hand washing technique, to have hand sanitizer if they don't have available soap and water. So parents need to be mindful of that and reiterate that to their children all the time, that we don't just wash our hands when we're out in public or when we're at school, but we have to do it at home as well to keep ourselves healthy.
Absolutely. And if anybody, any parent, anybody has questions, is there a number to call at the school nurse's office so they can obtain more information?
You're gonna flood my phone here, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I try.
I am more than happy to talk to parents at any time. And my number is 312-6602. And I'm available to be a resource to our families at any time.
Okay. I want to say thanks very much, Kyle. You do a wonderful, wonderful job. Cassia County School System is blessed to have you. And thanks for the information, and please come back in the not-too-distant future.
I will. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. School Days in Cassia County, brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland Avenue in Burley and Ambulatory Surgery Center, 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. And, of course, some really, really nice people representing the school system on school days in Cassia County. Thank you very much. Before we go any further, I want to remind you about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. I bit my tongue again. Gina's laughing. And rehabilitation. It's so much easier when you don't stick your tongue between your two front teeth and then bite down. 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Now, I've been going over there for quite some time in regards to my leg and having hydrotherapy in their pool. Oh my, does it help? Yes, sir. They've got all services available with a good mix of exercises to help you get back to being in tip-top condition. That's right. Nick Greenwell, physical therapist, and all the staff. All the staff are very qualified in helping you. They know sports medicine. They know, like I said, how to work with your doctor referrals on the exercise that will make you and help you get back to being you. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, serving you. Let me take a look at my expanded list that we have. And I think at this time, if Gina's sitting there with her finger on the button, this word for State Treasurer Ron Crane.
On Election Day, Idaho voters should choose a state treasurer with a 16-year record of success in helping improve the lives of Idahoans. Treasurer Ron Crane has nurtured and grown the tax-deductible Ideal College Savings Program, which thousands of Idaho families now use to continue their children's education. And nearly 25,000 Idaho women have gained saving and investing skills through Ron Crane's popular Smart Women, Smart Money training program. Vote Ron Crane for treasurer. Experienced investing, protecting Idaho's taxpayers.
Pate Crane for Idaho State Treasurer.
Thank you very much. And right now, let's head on over to Berry Equipment and Rental. Eli's a-comin', the old Green Bay Packer fan like I am. Good morning, Eli. How are you?
I'm still trying to get him on the phone.
Oh, well, then we'll just assume he's good. Gina's trying to get him on the phone, and we'll wait just a moment. And while we are waiting, I will also tell you about our friends at Lennox Home Comfort Systems. Don't forget Lennox Home Comfort Systems for your home through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric. Yes, sirree, Bobby. They can help you with all the different items to help you be more comfortable. And all you have to do is check with our friends over at Ramsey Heating and Electric for the gas furnaces, air conditioners, heat pumps. Your family will enjoy the comfort. Call Ramsey Heating and Electric today at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. At Ramsey Heating and Electric, they furnish, of course, warm winters and cool summers. Let's check with Gina and see if we have...
I'm calling the Twin store or the Burley store because both of the numbers that Deanne emailed me are incorrect. So which store am I calling?
I don't know. Deanne, you're going to have to hurry in here and give Gina the numbers that are correct. I tell you what we'll do. Let me check the number. Do you have the number for Eli at 596-5039?
I tried that, and that is a guy by the name of Dave.
That's not going to work then, is it? I tell you what, we'll forego it for today. Deanne, call him right away, please. And evidently there's a problem with the numbers that we have here, and we'll check it out. But
I can call the Twin Store real quick.
Why don't you try that Twin Store real quick if you would? And we'll appreciate that. Try it on the air and see if we can't get him. And hopefully we will.
3, 6, 8.
There we go. Gina's doing this live and direct on the air for Eli. There we go. Rings twice.
Bear Equipment, good morning, this is Jim.
Hi, Jim. Real fast. Run like a rabbit. Get Eli on the phone. This is the radio. Zeb Bell calling.
Hang tight, buddy.
All right, I will. I'm hanging by my fingertips. Okay.
And the seat of your pants.
And the seat of my pants as we fly low over the ground. Eli, are you there?
I am here, Zeb. What's going on?
Hey, man, tell us about everything going on for fall projects. You've got all the equipment necessary to clean up, dig up, whatever. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we've got tractors, loaders, skid steers, excavators, material handlers, you name it, we got it.
And when you say material handlers for a big dumb old cowboy like me, what are you talking about?
Forklifts, dump trailers, anything you need to move some stuff, we got it.
Oh, my goodness. How do you keep track of all this inventory at 3 locations, Twin Falls, Jerome, and Burley?
A very expensive computer system.
Are you the man?
Not today. But I know a fella.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Now, talk to us a little bit about going in. First-time customers, what do they need to do if they want to rent a piece of equipment?
All we need is a driver's license and payment up front. It's really easy. We just get all your information, take payment up front, and we go from there. Get you signed up. We sign up new customers every day. It's an easy deal.
Okay, now are there
fast in and out?
Are there little training sessions like with the staff? Like if nobody has ever been behind the wheel of a Bobcat or whatever, do you kind of give them a little training session?
Absolutely. We go through thoroughly with the customers so they know everything from how to get it off the trailer, how to use it, and then how to get it back on the trailer and secured down tightly so they can get it back to us. We spend a lot of time with every customer going through things.
All right, and you know you've got the man lifts too. You can go way up in the air like a junior birdman. I mean, how high up in the air can you get them with those aerial lifts?
We're now able to go up to 64 feet.
Oh my goodness! And besides all,
it's a cool beast. It's electric and diesel, so you can run it inside if you need to also.
Okay. And 3 locations. Now, do you have all the different types of equipment at all 3 locations?
We do. We have a variety of equipment. It's scattered out over the Magic Valley. We do share equipment, so if you're working in Jerome, we can get it to Jerome for you. Or if you pick it up in Burley, you can return it to Twin Falls or wherever you're working. We try and make things easy.
Oh, my goodness. Now, that location in Twin is Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls, South Lincoln in Jerome, and the new location at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. You guys are expanding. You guys are good, and you got everything they might need, right?
That's correct.
And, by the way, the Packers are playing good football. I just thought I'd throw that into you.
Hey, yeah, I'm hoping Clay Matthews meets Drew Brees this weekend.
I'm on your side. Listen, Barry Equipment and Rental, excellent people to work with. We're talking with Eli. I hope your day goes better, my friend, and we'll talk to you again. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Zeb.
You bet. Take care. Barry Equipment and Rental. And we're going to take a little break and be right back. Don't you go away.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb.
Oh, thank you very much. Down the home stretch for a Thursday. And we say thank you very much to everybody, especially Gina and Deanne for all their help in getting things organized for our program. We're going to go to the phone line right now, and we're going to be talking to Senator Dean Cameron. And there's a great big GOP bus tour going on today, and I'll let you hear it from him. Dean, good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb.
What's going on with the bus tour?
Well, this is the Republican bus tour that has been traveling the state. I think this is the 8th day. They've been up north and circled around. Yesterday they were in Idaho Falls, and this morning they started bright and early at Blackfoot, and they show up tonight. They have several stops along the way. Blackfoot and Pocatello and Soda Springs and Preston and McCammon and American Falls, and then they arrive into Burley tonight at 6 o'clock. And we were honored to get the 6 o'clock time slot, which it's the last slot of the day. So we have put together a little event. They are staying with us for a couple of hours, and we're going to have a baked potato bar, and we would like to invite the folks to come out and get to shake the hands and look the elected officials in the eye and make your decisions on who you're going to vote for. All righty. Now,
6 to 8 p.m. at the Burley Inn Convention Center. Is that correct?
At the Burley Best Western Inn.
Oh, okay.
It'll be back in the convention center area. And we hope the bus will be on time. We anticipate it being on time. And we'll most likely allow each of them, especially the governor, to have an opportunity to say a few things. It's the governor's bus tour. We had thought that Congressman Simpson would be along. I just got word about 30 seconds ago that he is not going to be able to make the Burley stop. He has to be back in Idaho Falls for a speech, and so he's only going part of the way. We have not heard yet whether Senator Risch will be with them, but we will have Governor Otter, Lieutenant Governor Little, candidate for State Controller Brandon Wolf, Secretary of State candidate Lawrence Denny, Treasurer candidate and current Treasurer Ron Crane, Attorney General Lawrence Wasden, and we're not certain about Sherry Ybarra, the candidate for Superintendent of Public Instruction.
All right.
We heard last night that she may not make it, so we're still holding out. I listened off and on this morning as I was traveling in between meetings, and I heard the caller call in that earlier that said that he likes to vote for the people. Well, the best way, in my opinion, for people to decide who they're going to vote for is for them to be able to come out, shake their hand, look them in the eye, ask them their questions, and determine their character. You oftentimes cannot determine that based on political ads or based on the media's interpretation of what people say.
I'm glad to hear you say that, and I think it's worth elaborating on a little bit. I have witnessed, and I know you have too, on the news the last couple of weeks, as we draw closer to November 4th and the elections, whether it's statewide or nationwide, that many times people are asked what they support, how they feel about a certain subject, whether they endorsed another person, etc. And there's been a lot of people that have tried to avoid the issue and not be honest and factual about what they've done. I feel this way, that if you're running for political office, people, they really deserve to know as much about you and your political leanings and who you support, and anything that's covered up should be a detriment, and I shy away from those people.
Absolutely. And, the difficult part, and I'm a person who runs for political office, and by the way, Speaker Bedke and Representative Wood and I will also be there. And Chairman Yates, the new party chairman, is expected to be there. Mm-hmm. The difficulty is when you deal with the media, they want a 30-second soundbite. They want a quick answer. And oftentimes, the subject matters of today, it's hard to put them in that short of an answer. And so you're subject to whatever that reporter's bent is, or whatever that reporter's thought is on the issue, or what he thinks or she thinks you're trying to say. And so the benefit of an event like tonight is that you can come out and you can ask the question you want of them. If you don't quite understand the answer, you can ask for it to be clarified. It really gives you an opportunity one-on-one, and you can look them in the eye and make a judgment as to whether you think they're the best candidate for the job. So.
I'm going to say this, and you know me, pretty blunt about a lot of things, and
not you.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's true. But I watch the gubernatorial debates on television, and I listen to primarily Mr. Belukoff and Butch Otter, and quite frankly, and I want you to tell me if I'm wrong, because you've always been a straight shooter. It's great to have a difference of opinion. But basically, when you get a lot of candidates running for various offices, it seems like they're a one-trick pony, and people are so concerned about just what they're interested in, whether it's education, whether it's water issues, whatever, and they don't remember in many times that a governor, they have got to be well-versed in a lot of different areas, a lot of different issues, and they need to choose very wisely someone that has knowledge for everybody and everything.
Well, Zeb, I think you're correct. The difficulty is when you run for office, all the professionals that would advise you on how to run for office will tell you need to focus on one or two or three issues. Mm-hmm. And so that sometimes becomes, they find the hot button issue, and certainly Mr. Belukoff has tried to find that hot button issue of being education.
That's right.
And as a governor, you've got a voting record, or as a legislator, you've got a voting record, and people can question every vote, and you have to be prepared to defend every decision and every vote, or every veto, or where you've stood. I have troubles. I watched part of that debate. Frankly, the debates. I watch parts of several of them, and they drive me crazy because sometimes things aren't said quite the way I think they should be said, or sometimes it's a protection of making sure you don't say something foolish.
Right.
And that's why I hate to go back to tonight, but that's why I'm an advocate for people. Those are a way. You take the sum whole, of what you can find out about a candidate, but this is a really good way, is for you to be able to meet them. Local candidates, when I'm running, I like to do door-to-door. That's my way a lot of times of being able to talk to local citizens. But when you're running for governor or Secretary of State or Superintendent of Public Instruction, you really don't have the time to do that, and so these events are a good way for you to get out amongst the public and hear their concerns and answer their questions.
All right, now I'm going to ask you a question, and I know that you're not directly involved in this, but I would appreciate your candor and your expertise and your knowledge. The Boulder White Clouds issue is an issue that is elevating in importance, and there was a story in the paper the other day that Obama wanted to, just with the stroke of his pen, turn it into monument status. Explain to my audience the differences of what might happen to the White Clouds issue with what Mike Simpson wants to do versus the Obama administration, and what's best for the state of Idaho.
Well, I don't know that I know the complete answer on any of that question, Zeb, to be honest with you. My inference, my understanding, so I'll tell you what I do know, and certainly am subject to being taught and to learning more. I've not been a proponent. I'm certainly not a proponent of what the Obama administration wants to do.
Right.
Because frankly, that would lock it up from a lot of people, and both recreationists as well as those that may use it in other ways, use that resource in other ways. As a state, we have lots of federal lands that, in fact, we have more than most states. I think there's only a couple states that have more than us, and I'm not necessarily in favor of having additional lands be put under that status. I think Congressman Simpson, I'm not going to speak for him, but I think he believes that there's a level of protection that can be placed there that would keep the Obama administration out and still allow it to be used appropriately. But I'm not even certain that I go along with that. That may be an area. I support Congressman Simpson in a lot of areas where he's been helpful in delisting the wolves and helping us with agriculture and those areas. He's been very helpful on some EPA issues, although we still don't have control of EPA, and we need to have better control. Part of that is authority that was given away long before Congressman Simpson's time. And that's the dilemma when the legislative branch gives authority away. They never get it back. I guess I hate to be not as solid on that issue, but I'm not as versed on it as I probably should be. That's sort of my take at this point.
All right, now I'm going to ask you a question about something I know that you're well aware of and very, very well versed in, and that's Obamacare. And I'm going to be, again, very blunt. It's falling apart at the seams. It's like a cheap suit, and pull a thread and you end up with a mess of threads on the floor. And my question is this. When we first talked about Obamacare, and on this program, I started when they started talking about this idea, we looked at it and we found out that it's not going to be a good protection device. It is going to be very cost ineffective. And now we're hearing that we may be looking at 31 million people still uninsured, and that puts us back at square one on the monopoly board as far as coverage is concerned. What did we gain by implementing Obamacare?
Well, you're asking me to defend Obamacare, and I just can't. I mean, there are some people where it's helped. I'm not sure that we gained anything. We changed the rules. If you want to say that was a gain, you changed the rules, and when you change the rules of health care and health insurance, there are some people were benefited and some people lost. And overall, I think as a country and overall as a citizenry, we lost with it. Now, are there some people that have been benefited by some of the changes? Certainly. Individuals who are being rated up because of a health condition that they had no longer being rated up, they get a better deal now. Unfortunately, the rest of us pay for it. Older people, pre-65, those that are before 65, their rates in some cases went down a little bit. Younger people's rates went up. They changed the slope. They changed the mechanics on how you could enroll and when you could enroll. So we knew right from the very start that it would not address all the ills that President Obama talked about. It just was poorly designed, and unfortunately, politics being what it is, neither side has been willing to roll up their sleeves and say, okay, how do we do away with it, or how do we fix it, or what do we put in place of it? I know there are individuals who have talked about proposals. I'm hopeful that after the midterm elections that we will have at least the ability to control a number of things. Will we be able to repeal Obamacare after the midterm elections? It's doubtful. I doubt that they can stop it until you've got a new president who's willing to pull both sides together and say, okay, we've got to fix this mess before it bankrupts the country.
Absolutely. Dean, one final thought here, and then we'll end by giving another advertisement plug for the state bus tour. But yesterday, up in Canada, we saw the naive come to reality of you can't be naive anymore. The Canadian Parliament, with basically an open-door policy and a country that has always prided itself on being open and friendly to everyone, they found out that they can't be that way anymore after the horrendous shooting with the Muslim terrorist that was at the War Memorial and then went to Parliament. How concerned should we all be, every state, for our state legislators, our meeting rooms, our state capitals? I mean, basically, is the security of a nature that you're protected?
Boy, that's a tough question, Zeb. We have had significant threats and issues at the state capitol over the years that I've served. We've had demonstrations and we've had events that, frankly, gave great concern to a number of us, and a lot of them haven't necessarily been talked about in the media that much, and that's for a purpose. We're trying not to encourage that kind of activity. Idaho's Capitol building is wide open, and we have over the years improved the security systems and the security staff, and with the help of the state police. When we did the remodeling of the Capitol building, it helped a great deal. We changed from having necessarily overcrowded rooms. We have security cameras in almost every area of the building. But even that, it could be a really dangerous situation at times. And I know several of the members of the legislature who have their concealed weapons permits, and they're carrying for that reason. And so perhaps that's an added protection. Is that we, as Idahoans, we're determined to protect ourselves to a degree.
Absolutely. And I respect you saying that, Dean, because I don't care if it's the robberies that have been occurring at pharmaceutical places and locations, or whether it's protecting yourself as a private citizen or a congressman or a senator. I think that right now we are under a threat that people need to address and be cognizant of.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody needs to be vigilant and be aware of their surroundings. I don't want to encourage people to live in fear. That's not my ideal. I think we do the best we can. But that also means that we don't act Pollyannish either.
Absolutely.
It's never happened to us because it can.
Okay, tonight, GOP state bus tour for the Mini-Cache area. Tell us again where they go and what kind of an activity it's going to be.
So come anytime between 6 and 8 o'clock. The bus will arrive at 6 o'clock, and we, of course, hope to have as many people there as we can. We will have a baked potato bar dinner, so you can bring your family and come have dinner on us. And enjoy, get to meet the candidates, get to hear a little bit from them, and get to shake their hand, and well, you can shake them too, but shake their hand and look them in the eye and ask them whatever question you want.
You know, it was funny how that was said, and I thought, that's a good idea. Okay, listen, Senator Dean Cameron, a dear friend, God bless you, man, and thank you for coming on the program this morning.
Thanks. There's some you want to shake a little harder than others, but that's all right.
Dean, thank you much.
All right. Yeah. Bye-bye.
I had to chuckle. Hey, it's time for the weather forecast, and the weather is brought to you by our friends at Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Number to call, 324-7657. Locally owned custom meat processor for over 20 years. 20 years, and everything they sell is guaranteed. They sell taste one bite at a time at Scarrows Meats. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Hello everyone, Michael Rogers for Zip the Ranch. Got a mixture of weather for today going into this weekend, but the bottom line is that with the cooler temperatures that we've been receiving for the last 48 hours, they're going to start to warm up by the time we get to Sunday. Cloudy for today and tonight, sunny on Friday, and also clear on Friday night. Now, it's going to be a nice day Saturday, and then you're going to have a slight chance of rain for Saturday night going into Sunday, clearing out Sunday, and having a nice Monday. Now, the temperatures are going to warm up by close to 72 on Sunday. So where are you going to be for today? 67 for the high, 71 for the high for tomorrow, and then you just slowly start to work your way back up to the low 70s. Other than that, have yourself a great day, have yourself a great weekend, and enjoy the weather, similar to the weather you've got.
Thank you, Michael. Brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and the number 324-7657. They are selling taste, one bite at a time. Really good folks at Scarrows Meats. I got to catch up here a little bit, and I'll remind you, too, that there is a big tire sale going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All the great buys on tires like the Terramax HT, the Wildcat AT2, the Open Country AT2, for your cars, the Ultra Z900. Oh, my goodness sakes, all the tires for all your different styles of driving. You better stop in and see them today. They got 7 locations right here in the Magic Valley with the best of brake service, professionally trained technicians, the best of shocks and struts and front end alignments to make sure you're going south and not north. They can help you. And also the best in batteries. And it's going to get colder here pretty quick. Better make sure your battery's okay. Check it out at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Now, who do you see? Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Yep, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see those good folks today. Gina, we made it through another week.
So are you looking forward to shaking some of our legislators?
I couldn't help but I started to chuckle. I did. I couldn't help but laugh.
Oh, I laughed so hard. That was quite funny.
Hey, did you hear, and I'm not making light of the fact that there was a theft, but I mean, these guys, they put a lot of effort in stealing that big horse off the top of that saddle shop.
Why would somebody want to climb up on a roof to take a horse? I can't fathom that. I mean, and I feel sorry. I hope that horse is found so, Vickers can put it back up onto the top of their roof. But there's going to be a lot of repairs that need to be made. And so whoever stole the horse, would you just please return it?
But it's not that small a horse. It's a full-sized horse.
I know.
And you know...
Did you throw it in a horse trailer?
I don't... Well, that's how they got it up here. But anyway, what was so funny about this thing, you would have thought, and there's some businesses that are open 24/7 right around that area, you would have thought somebody would have driven by and said, oh, gee, somebody at 3 o'clock in the morning is stealing the horse.
Either that or somebody's driving by and thinking, wow, they're doing repairs late at night.
Yeah.
It should have raised some questions and some red flags, but I don't understand why somebody would want to steal that horse. It is like an icon, and so if they decide to use it as yard art, everybody knows where
everybody's going to know where it came from.
Exactly. So just return the dang horse.
And I mean, and the only way they could get the horse up here, where they bought it in California, they said they had to stick it in a horse trailer with its head out the back end because it's so big.
Yeah.
Now, if you're driving down the road, I don't care if you're in Twin Falls or Burley or wherever, late at night, let's say 4 o'clock in the morning, and you got a black and white paint horse standing there looking out backwards out of the trailer, is that not going to draw some attention?
If you're not a horse person, probably not. But for those of us who are, usually we see the hind end of the horse in the horse trailer.
But, getting it off the roof, it wasn't a one-man job.
No. Did they use a crane? So many questions, and so my fear is this, that the horse is going to be badly damaged.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that they could have gotten it off that roof without it falling, tumbling, hitting the ground, cracking, breaking, whatever, because unless they had a crane or some sort of heavy equipment to remove it, that horse is toast.
You gotta, it's not funny, and it's a crime, but yet, on the other hand, there is a little bit of morbid humor there.
There is.
Yeah.
There's so many questions are raised. But why would anybody want?
And it'd be even funnier if the guy that stole it or the group that stole it didn't have anything but a Volkswagen to tie it on top of.
I doubt they had a horse trailer big enough.
Hey, listen, thanks for all your help this week. It was great. Great job over there at the station, and we want to tell everybody we'll be back on Monday at 8:06 right here on KBAR 1230 and streaming live on the net, ZebBell.com. The way things were, the way things ought to be. Take care, everybody. God bless.